All right, thanks for joining us here in our streaming coverage of this latest snowstorm here impacting all of upstate New York. I'm meteorologist Josh Kozlowski. We want to give you an update here on what's going on with the snow we've already been seeing, what's happening right now, and what will be happening here for the rest of the night. First off, of course, we got the big picture showing you again the Northeast like I was doing for you last night at this time. We have an area low pressure, broad one with snow, but also mix and rain down towards, say, New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland as well, and just offshore of Long Island. But notice we are now kind of more than halfway through the snowstorm. It's kind of ending here very shortly. Let's get over to some video that I took earlier today. If we can take this full screen. This was driving into the news station this afternoon, say around 12:15 here. This is 690 East. And you can see at least they had one solid lane plowed, but moving only maybe 35 to maybe 40 miles an hour. The visibility was knocked down quite a bit, especially as I got closer to downtown Syracuse. You can see that fuzziness in the distance there. That's not usually what happens when I drive into work. How about some snow reports here? Let's get over to those. And again, these are only a handful. These came in around 4:30 this afternoon. We've got more coming into our office here. Snow reports anywhere from Sullivan, 8.5 inches, Lakeland at 8, Vernon, 7.5, DeWitt at 4:20 p.m., 7 inches, Union Springs had at least 6.5, Homer at least 5.5, and our weather deck is well above 7 inches by this point. Now to the radar. I want to show you full screen, actually back to me on screen here. Let's go to live triple Doppler, sponsored by Charles Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical. You can see here the white zone across the Finger Lakes, some lighter snow, the blues, kind of a steadier, moderate snow, and yellows, maybe near Oswego and just north of Baldwinsville. There are some heavier rates of snowfall on occasion. And I want to show your attention just southwest of our area. Notice there's a gap in the snow amount here. That would be where the snow is shutting down partially or temporarily here. And when I pull this back up on the wide view, it's because we've got a low pressure crossing the mountains from the west over the Appalachian Mountains right here through Pennsylvania and the Virginias, and is reforming to the east and eventually moving away. So kind of a pause, a lightening up of the snow. Temperatures, it is cold out right now. We've been basically in the single digits to near 10 all day long. The rock salt, the brine, the roads, not really working at all. Almost pretend that it's not salted because it's a hidden danger. The plows may be coming through and clearing the snow on your street, but there may still be a little ice on the roads too. And you gotta slow it down. Even if you drive a truck, even if you've got all-wheel drive SUV, it doesn't mean you have all-wheel stop with the brakes too. ICE doesn't care that you have a four-wheel drive vehicle. Keep that in mind. The wind chills, the real feel, yeah, a nasty kind of cold. 8 below here in Syracuse, single digits below 0 everywhere except the teens below 0, Watertown and Saranac Lake. And from here on out, I'm going to toss it over to meteorologist Peter Hall, who's standing by out on the weather deck to give us real-time conditions about the snow, the cold, and to give us more on the forecast as well. Pete, how you doing out there?
Yeah, I'm just getting rid of some of this snow. You know, good news is that the snow is a really dry snow, Josh.
Yes.
Because the air is so cold, we're still in the single digits. So in that regards, it's a little bit easier to clean up. But like you just mentioned, the salt or salt brine mixture. I got this, by the way, well over my head because of the wind chills that Josh mentioned. I want to make sure when I'm out here that I'm not going to get frostbite. But the point is, with those temperatures, it's like driving, even when the snowplows go through and put the first bit of salt down, if they don't go by multiple times and it stops snowing, which it's not, at least in the short term, it's like you're driving on a cross-country ski slope. Yeah, it might be flat, but certainly you've got hills and they're worse. Yeah, the roads are going to be way worse than you think. So let's get right now to the storm system setup. Josh was mentioning about the snowfall. We still think we're right on course and right on track for us to see the worst of this to continue through about midnight. So while there may be some variations between light and moderate or steady snow from place to place, after we get through midnight, a lot of this is going to completely shut down, meaning just a very light snowfall as opposed to the widespread snow that we're seeing right now. So that's the timing of the worst snow. It continues to about midnight, but still snows lightly thereafter through the overnight and during the day tomorrow. I still think, and Josh and I have talked about this as well as many of our other meteorologists, we're going to probably end up by 7 a.m. tomorrow on the ground. If you haven't touched anything, you haven't shoveled, how much is going to be on the ground? I think many spots are going to be 10 to 15 inches. Part of this is that the snow, the grains of snow are smaller, so it's not as fluffy as sometimes lake effect is, and that's going to, I think, at least keep it at the 10 to 15 inch amount. It's almost going to feel like you're walking through sand. That's the kind of grainy nature of the snow. But after we get through 7 a.m. Monday, which Josh will go into, there will be some occasional first lake effect snow in central New York. That will be Monday and Monday evening, 1 to 3 inches at least per 12-hour period. And then it moves up north and gets stronger. Again, Josh will talk more about that. Road conditions, we just mentioned it. Even with our great plow crews, thank you to all the towns, villages, county and state plows. They do a great job, but they can't be everywhere every single time. So, if you don't have to drive between now and tomorrow morning, it's probably better that you don't. Then we can get those tandem plows go through, they can clear the whole thing, but they're gonna have to keep doing this, especially through midnight when it's constantly snowing. So, with that in mind, here's the snowfall graphic. Total snow by 7 a.m. And remember, we just mentioned there will be more after that, but really the meat and potatoes of this is through 7 a.m. tomorrow. Most spots should get at least 10 inches in the white, locally up to 15. The best chance of going over 15 would be in areas of the highest elevations that are east and north facing. That's why you see some of those red things down there, south of Route 20, some of those higher elevations. And there will be a little bit less downsloping off the Tug Hill, maybe Redfield, Montague, and Richland, and also up to Watertown. Look, it's still 5 to 10 inches up there, but slightly less. And like we've mentioned, salt is either less effective or completely ineffective, especially this evening where we're still in the single digits. I'm going to set it back inside to Josh Kozlowski. He's got a lot more what's going to happen after 7 a.m. Monday. Back inside.
All right, thank you, Pete. Appreciate it. Come inside, get warm, have some hot chocolate, and we will be focusing our attention now on what's coming up, what's ahead. Let's get to Futurecast, and if we can take this full screen, yes, we are switching gears from general snow over to lake effect snow, and I don't think it's going to be heavy lake effect snow. At this time, we don't have any warnings per se. It's just going to be kind of a spray bottle of snow, kind of just like that. But it will be persistent at times through Monday. If we can get up to 20 degrees, that would be great. Because when you're in the single digits like tonight, for a while, it's not really clearing up the roads, but near 20, at least the salt can work in a limited and better fashion there. And then we take you through Monday, maybe on occasion it's flurrying, and occasionally maybe catch a little dimmed sun. Otherwise, there's just going to be some clouds and lake snow showers. And on a west-northwest wind, if you lived in Syracuse your whole life, you know west-northwest usually means northern Onondaga County will see some at least lighter snow on top of the general snow. And this is heading into Monday night. We're switching gears and we're pulling back the view just so you can see a little bit more of a Lake Ontario. And as this thing slides and pivots north, winds go more west-southwesterly. That'll get it out of the Syracuse area. And I think Tuesday we will have some sun out at least a little bit. And then still a little bit of spray of snow showers still going on Tuesday every once in a while, but it's mostly up north. And then we'll take you out even further in time. Look at this, Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning, that lake snow band may come back towards Syracuse, or at least between Oswego and Syracuse. All right, as we go further in time, if you were planning out the week here, okay, what other days will it be snowy and cold? Well, it's going to be cold every day. I'll show you the 7-day forecast in a minute. You're going to say, can we warm it up? But until then, the lake snow will be going because we got cold air crossing these giant bodies of relatively warm lake waters, and it will continue to propagate snow. Look at that, east of the lake on Wednesday, north of Syracuse, and then I think into Thursday might try to come back down to Syracuse. Just a rough end to January. If you do not like snow and cold, and at times the roads will be greasy, icy with temperatures at night in the single digits. So this is probably what a snow lover's dream is, this end of the month of January with temperatures by night, sometimes spots, below zero. And that is like what we've had here recently. A couple nights ago, we had a low of 9 below in Syracuse. Rough. Okay, 7-day forecast. How about Mother Nature turning up the thermostat? No. We have temperatures right now. You can see 20 for a high on Monday, teens right through the end of the week here. Next weekend, we do start the month of February, but if we can get the sun out, that will help a little bit on the pavement, maybe a little bit to clear out the driveway, right? Wouldn't that be good and not have to worry about scraping or salting and scraping and salting all the time? We have a couple of SU games. Again, the women play on Thursday, the men's team play on Saturday. If you have plans to go up to the Dome and watch the game, or your kids, your grandkids are going, they need to dress for winter, polar air. By the way, before we sign off tonight, I want to make attention to another winter story that we covered back in the fall. It's on our CY Central YouTube page about the winter forecast. And I think the parts, at least, my segment, some of the other meteorologists, we talked about periods of polar air possible this winter. Often at times getting some lake effect snow. This recent storm, of course, was an aside to that, but opportunities for more snow because of the cold being lodged down from the North Pole. You want to check that out if you haven't seen it yet, right on our CNY Central YouTube page. But for now, I'm going to warm up. Even today, looking at these numbers, it's pretty cold. And I hope you're staying warm as well on the couch, watching this on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Thanks for following us all week and weekend long on our coverage of this major snowstorm here in Syracuse, Central New York. And for now, what we'll do is we'll sign off, but we expect more weather coverage for you throughout the week ahead for any new snow. We do appreciate you watching.